Hello, I'm Squid Titty, and today I'm going to be discussing the new line of Monster High dolls. These dolls have been out for a few weeks, and I've just completed the set for the most part. The only doll that I'm currently missing is Deuce, but I do have the Coffee Break Deuce, and he's honestly so similar that I don't feel the need to get the Amazon exclusive right now. But now, overall, the doll line I feel is a just complete smash. Like, they look fantastic. I think that this is a great reboot to the Monster High doll series, and I'm really excited for what's going to be coming out in the future. I've already seen some leaked photos of the Creep Over, I think is what the doll line is called, and I'm really excited for that Twyla doll. She's definitely going to be what I am going to be hunting for when she comes out. But overall, I think this line is great. But there are some things I want to talk about, and starting off is the color choices. So the original Monster High doll line, I feel, had a lot of muted colors and had a lot more gothic and horror aspects to the design. Where the G3 line, I do think is a lot more preppy and colorful, and honestly, I think more so represents um, high school students. I actually think that I could see a lot of these students in school. Well, for the most part. Obviously, this would be a school that doesn't have uniforms, but overall, I think these dolls look pretty good. I don't have any problems with the colors. I think that the colors actually add a lot of personality to some of these dolls, especially like Laguna. And I think the color choices for Frankie were really smart. Um, but overall, I'm a pretty colorful person in the clothes I wear, so I kind of identify with these dolls a lot more. Now, the fashion choices, I think, are somewhat of a hit and miss. Overall, I do like the fashion choices, but I think Frankie and Claudine, I'm not, or not Frankie, I'm sorry, Laguna and Claudine, I think for me have the fashion that I like the least. Claudine's, I don't really understand what kind of personality they're going for Claudine. I don't know if it relates to the movie and the show that's coming out. I haven't seen the movie, so um, I'm not sure exactly what they're doing with this new Claudine. It does seem like she's a bit uh, tomboyish in this line, which I think is a bit strange because before she was seen as more of the fashionista kind of um, girl, to my understanding. Like she seemed more about fashion, which not to say that you can't be fashionable and a tomboy, but um, I would think that the fashion would be a bit more elevated for Claudine. Laguna, I think the outfit overall kind of matches her personality. Um, she definitely is more sporty, but also very colorful. I do understand that people don't like the fact that she's no longer blue, but I don't know. I don't have that big of an issue, especially with Frankie being blue now. I think pink is fine. I do think it's really cool that she does have blue undertones still, like with her feet that are clear. I think those color choices are fine. But I really love her hair. I think the hair and the pants, the color wise, are just so pretty. The only thing I didn't like color wise was the top. I think the overall, uh, I don't know, the top just really doesn't connect with me well. I think it's the colors and just the hood too. I think it's a little weird. Um, I do get that the hood's kind of a nod to her older design, but I'm not a big fan of it. Overall, though, I think her outfit's fine. I think it still matches her personality. And that Frankie and Cleo's, I think, are the best for me. Dracula, I think, comes in the middle. I just think that the pink, like, see through kind of gives me more of a nighty, especially with like the way that the pants look. Well, the shorts. But overall, I don't have any problems with Draculaura. I think she looks great. But I think Cleo looks really good. I think she looks like Cleopatra. But Frankie is overall the best. I think that their outfit matches their personality so much. The trans flag colors, the different patterns, it all looks so great. Um, I really cannot sing more praises about whoever styled Frankie's doll. I also, um, I think overall, I've seen a couple more of Frankie's designs coming up, and they look great. I'm really glad with the color choices. I think the I do get like the nude lip color people don't really like, and they don't like that Frankie's now blue. But I don't know. I think it sets them apart, and they just look great. Um, Now, the face paints are something that I wanted to talk about. Um, Overall, I think the face paints are some of my favorite. I think that they have so much life, which I think was kind of missing from the previous generations. Something about the older generations just seems so lifeless and emotionless sometimes. Where these dolls, you can clearly see that they have like personality to their faces, which I think is really cool. I think my favorite of the five is Claudine's and Draculaura's. I think they have a lot of personality in their face, which I connect more with. I think the only thing I didn't like about Claudine's was I think the baby hairs placement was a little weird. I think it could have been better. Also, I didn't think that it matched the color of her hair that much. And then Laguna's, something about those blue fish scales just looks a bit strange. And makes her forehead kind of look huge. I think it doesn't help with her hairstyle, but I think something there I could be a bit better. Maybe if they also made them a bit shiny or added like some glitter effects to that would be cool, but it's not my favorite. I think that they could have added them somewhere else. Maybe even gave her fish scales as like freckles would be cool. But right now, I'm not really loving them on her forehead. Um, but overall, I think the face paints are really good. Um, the body changes were some of my favorite changes about these doll lines. The G1, G2 lines, well, I didn't have like a huge problem with their overall design choices. I did not like how skinny the dolls were. There's nothing wrong with being skinny, absolutely, but I think that they were just so thin and honestly had kind of a weird curvature to their bodies. Um, that just sometimes didn't look right for some dolls. I think honestly, if one of the dolls still had that curvature and skinniness, I wouldn't mind. But I think for every single doll, it was a bit off putting for me. Um, I think my favorite change was that they gave Draculaura thicker thighs. They didn't make her like plus size, in my opinion, but they definitely um, gave her some bulk. They also made her shorter, which was really cool. Um, and I think even though the rest of the dolls are pretty skinny, I think that they have more natural looking bodies, which I appreciate. I think that children, specifically, since no matter what, these dolls primarily are meant for children. Um, it's important to kind of show them different body types, but also to just not show them unrealistic body standards, because that does affect a child's body image. So I think that those were such a great change. Overall, I think the diversity that was added to this doll line was really cool. Um, the biggest change being Frankie, of course. They now are going by they them pronouns as they are non binary. They also have a prosthetic. I think those are such smart changes as they really match Frankie's character overall, and I think that they are translated very well with their overall personality and design. I think having a they them character is also just very smart and will help children kind of adapt to um, learning those pronouns, as that will be something that everyone kind of needs to do. So I think that was such a smart decision, and honestly really bold to have a trans character as one of the main characters. I think that's very risky, but for me it has made me just really love the new direction. Um, Now, hair overall, I think visually looks very good. Frankie's, I think that extra blue that they added to the hair looks great. Really like what they're doing with their hair. Laguna, I love how the hair looks. I think those colors were really cool choices. Claudine's, I don't really like this new brown that they're doing. It's not my favorite shade. It kind of looks a little strange. Draculaura, I mean, you know, can't really go wrong here. The Widow's Peak, the pink and black, it looks great. Cleo, I'm not huge on tinsel, so that's a personal thing, but overall, I think visually their hair also looks really cool. Um, but the issue that I have with the hair is the hair quality. I don't know if everyone had this experience, but I've unboxed a couple of my dolls, and the hair out of the box has just been kind of a mess, especially with Laguna and Claudine. Claudine's hair quality is just terrible, at least for mine. I don't know what's going on with that. I'm gonna have to fix it because it looks really bad. Laguna, I had a similar issue with the curls in her hair just came out really bad, and I'm not sure why. So that was a big detractor for me, is that I'm going to have to restyle these hairs, which I did not want to have to do. Hopefully that is something that is kind of fixed. Now, overall, I think that these dolls look great. Um, but there are some things that I hope that they change in the future. The first one is obviously the hair quality, like I talked about. I hope that they put more attention to the hair in the future, um, because right now I think the hair quality is not hitting where it needs to be, especially for the characters that have curly hair. Um, which honestly, I wouldn't even say that these two have curly hair per se. They just have wavy hair right now. So hopefully that is something that is worked on. The other thing that I really didn't like was the packaging. Not like the packaging design, but like getting these dolls out was such a hassle. It took like 10-15 minutes, which I'm kind of not used to having to deal with so much of that. Because a lot of the dolls that I buy are collector dolls, and honestly, I have found that collector dolls are easier to get out of their boxes than what I've been dealing with these ones. The main thing that I hate so much is those plastic tabs that are in the back of their head. I don't know what they're for. I don't know if it's just to keep the head in the same placement, but I hate them so much. They're so hard to get out of the head. I think you have to actually take pliers to kind of like just get them to be removed. But I'm so afraid of damaging my dolls' heads, and it's such a just pain to have to deal with. So hopefully they stop doing that. I feel like I'm not, it's not something that I'm used to, so it's not something that I enjoy. I think overall, I didn't have, although it took me a while, I don't think I had too much of an issue getting the dolls out, but that one was such a big pain for me that I wanted to mention it. Um, and for the future, I have a lot of hopes and dreams for this doll line. I think I'm seeing so many cool things that I'm just hoping that they continue and, hitting this mark that they're hitting. And hopefully they can do a little bit better in some areas. But what I'm hoping for the future is more queer characters. I think if they just have one, it does seem a bit tokeny. So I do hope that they add more of that. I do also hope that they add more body types. I think a plus size character would be really, really cool. Um, obviously we did get the body changes with Draculaura, but um, I would really like to see another plus size character. Also, more textured hair. One of my honestly, the doll that got me into Monster High was Honey Swamp. I think her hair is just so cool. And I feel like nowadays we see a lot of dolls with textured hair, so hopefully we get more dolls in Monster High that actually have more textured hair. Um, but I think I this is where I don't think I'm gonna see changes, but more horror references. The whole line is Monster High, and they always have taken inspiration from classic horror. So I think if they took a little bit more of the horror back into this line, it would be perfect. Um, and then Skulllector dolls. My favorite were the horror movie line. That was the other thing that really got me on a Monster High was I have like the Greta Gremlin doll. I really hope that they continue with those, but actually incorporate some of the new G3 bodies. Personally, I would love to see a new uh, Pinhead doll from Hellraiser from the new recent movie. I think she has such a cool design, and that would be so cool to see in a Monster High doll. And then the last thing would be new characters overall. I think they've changed a lot of things. They're starting out fresh. I think obviously we want to see some of the OGs, but I think a new character incorporated maybe on the side or maybe even in the main line would be really cool. You could argue that Laguna is almost a new character because of how much she was changed, but um, I'm not really buying that. But it would be really cool to see maybe like a new character inspired by like newer horror genres or maybe a cryptid that we haven't explored before. Maybe we get Mothman. But yeah, just I think seeing some new characters would help breathe even more life into this series. And overall, I'm just really excited to see the direction that this dolling is going to go through for. Because overall, I think we're doing pretty good. But yeah, let me know your thoughts and opinions on the doll line. I'm really interested to see what you guys think and what you guys kind of want to see coming forward. And yeah, until next time, I hope you all are well and have a nice rest of your night.